a part of the Wago backing track series. If you don't know what that is, if you go to the website, or you go to the YouTube channel rather, you can find all these. It's just something different to play along with, other than just playing along with a backing track, which is generally 1 or 2 or 3 chords. These songs, they're one of a kind. Have fun with them. I will show you 2 of those right there. But if you're here tomorrow on Tuesdays, we talk about a little bit of music theory. This goes hand in hand, but this is more laid back. This is just original music nonsense that I've done. Tuesdays, we have a specific concept that we use, and then we go through the process of understanding that concept based on everything we learn. So, if you're following the channel, and I hope you are, subscribe, put thumbs up, put something cool in the comment section, and join us on Mondays for this, and then Tuesday for something a little bit different, but kind of the same. And then here's what they look like on the website. The tune. It was called, I think I named it Sitting One Out. Long story short is I named these randomly of whatever I'm thinking. I throw them on a program called iReal Pro. There are many different programs out there that you can use. I just used this one because it was the one I was turned on to, and I've got thousands of songs on there. I can fly through writing tunes. I use these for students to be able to write backing charts so we can play through them. So if I have a student that's working on bluegrass, I can write a little bluegrass tune, hand them a chart. Around town and everybody I play with, most people don't use charts here on Big Island. However, we're trying to influence a different younger group of musicians to actually do chart reading, sight reading, stuff like that. So, what I'd like to do today is write it out in long form so you can see how to write a chart by hand, go over the piano here so we can see how a couple of these things sound, and then, I don't know, take some ideas of how to change the song. Now, I just listened to the song for the first time last night in a long time since writing. I just listened to it again. There are 1 or 2 things there that are a little bit funky. It goes out of the key, so it's not going to stay inside the diatonic 7, meaning when we're going through the process of playing these songs, we have a major, a minor, a minor, a major, a major, a minor, and then a diminished. So for this song, we are playing C, D. We've got a C major, even though it says C sus there. We're taking away the 3rd, which means when we deprive the air of having the stable foundation of a triad, it alters the way we feel due to that chord. Whether it's a sus2 or a sus4 or G golly whiz, playing it up top. Anywho, when we play the C sus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a G sus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, F, we're going to play a G, no sus, and then to an E minor. That's our leading, basically returning that chord into the mover. Rather than playing what would charismatically be called a C dominant 7, or an E diminished that goes into an F major, feels pleasing, we're using the relative minor of G major, which is E minor. So hypothetically, that E minor could be an E minor 7 if you want to. However, leaving out that moving tone and keeping it right here, it still feels good going into F major. It's not as dramatic. But we do have that E minor to F, which feels good. Then we're at the B part. So the chords that I use have really nothing to do with the melody or theme of the song anyways. Right now, what I'd like to just show you is this is song writing. If you're with me and you want to ask questions, awesome, that would be fun. But again, these are just a couple of my own tunes. Sitting, I think it's ing, sitting, one, out. I think the reference comes from Anchorman. There was a part where they're all hanging out and one of the characters is like, I miss your smile. And then Ron Burgundy's like, I think you ought to sit this one out. I love that term. It kind of refers to me as like when you're overwhelmed with a little too much and you need to settle down. Coffee. So for this first verse, I like to call this one the A or the intro. This one actually has an intro, which we're going to put our time signature, which is going to be 4/4. A double bubble bar, because when we use two lines that are darkened, it represents the beginning and the end of a piece. When we go to the next measure, I'm going to put a bar, but for this one, I've got my C sus. So normally, I write these out in the key using charts. This time, what I want to do is use the chordal analysis or Roman numeral analysis so we can take a gander at what these would be. Why does it feel dark in here? Take a little gander at what these would be. So we are playing in the key of C major. So this chord, the C, would be a 1 chord, and we're going to play it as a sus. Groovy? Now, we're going to be making a bar. That means our next measure is going to be the C. It's the resolution. Oh, so very nice. When we go to our next chord, we're going to be playing the minor second. So we're going to put it as such. And then the last chord we're playing in the bar, the phrasing, is going to be a G. Now in the key of C, C, D, E, F, G. One of the things that we might want to do is do this and then be able to see both of these as being the same. If that's the case, this is a great way to start writing your chords because it tells you uppercase Roman numeral is a major, lowercase is a minor, and then there's no shame in writing this out. So if you want to, put it right over here. We've got our 1 chord is going to be the C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, don't you know, and then 7. The reason why I'm writing these in lowercase is because they're representative of a minor third leading our triad. If you don't know what a triad is or anything, check out some of those other videos I do, or Google it, or watch any other music theory channel. When we go to our next one, the reason why I write these in lowercase is because it's representing a lowercase triad, or a minor. I realize this is counterproductive to somebody who already knows how to read music. However, for those of you who are just starting, it's good to have representations of a major being an uppercase and a lowercase being a lowercase. It helps register the brain. Once you know all your keys, all 15, then you can play with it. All right, I'm going to close that bar, but we're not putting a double bar because it's not the end of this. I lied. It is. It's the end of the intro. So I'm going to put the intro right here. Intro. Put a little box around it. This gives me my intro marking. When we go to the next one, there is no need to put the time signature because the time signature stays the same. If it changed, I would have put it there. 5, 4, 6, 4, 7, 8, 12, 8, 32, 16. When we put out the next note here, we're going to be doing the same as the 1. So I'm going to throw it out with a capital 1. And then we've got our F. So F is our 4 chord. That's the first time it makes an appearance in this song. Groovy. We're going to be moving to the 5 sus. So just like the 1 sus, we're just going to put the 5 in sus. And then the honest to goodness truth, it's going to have a resolution right back to the 5. Now, what I'm doing right here is just writing out the same thing that we just heard. But now, you get the visual representation in case you want to play along at home. When we go through the next one, I'm going to write down a bar. I've got my 1 chord. Next, it does the same thing. Goes to the 4 chord. Here, it's going to have a first part, and then we're going to have a second part. So I'm going to write as such, and I'm going to do both at the same time so we can see how it just flows right into there. Right here, when we have the 5 sus, boom, it's going to hold that, and then this measure is going to split. So we're going to have a 5, and then here you can see where I put a 5-7. This means we have a 5 dominant. Now, this is the end of the passage, so I'm going to put a repeat going all the way up here to my A. Repeat, boom, boom, and this should be a double bar because it starts a new passage for the A part. When we go down here, I'm going to write this out again. Instead of going to the 5 sus, we go to the 5 here, and then we have the 5 again, but it plays it as a relative minor. So I'm just going to put what that is in the key of C. It's the minor third. Nice. That is the end of that passage. So the end of that passage goes down to the B section. Now, let's just play this out and see what it feels like. Let's grab my pen because I destroyed that one. Go on over the piano. So the video you heard sounded kind of full. Had, I don't know, something like a synth in there. It was a little bit too much. The program's just to give the chords. The chart is where the magic actually happens. That's a little fast, actually. So maybe like a... Keep the C in there. And then when we move to the G, because it's a sus here. And maybe a resolution. Down to 1 on the resolution. That'd be fun. Playing with left hand. Do that later. I'm just going to stick tertiarily with my major triads. Sometimes using an inversion. It's the same thing as having root chords. I'm just, I tend to hear the root position up higher when you're going to the apex of a melody, and then when you're resolving it, if you have 2 chords in a row, like G sus to G, it feels good to go rather than with the 1-finger resolution. With both of these doing the resolution and lowering the tone, it feels like it comes down to a more stable foundation. Especially since in the key of C, G is the dominant. Anywho, with this one, G7, we just introduced the F there. It's the dominant of the chord. This time when we play through it, I'm going to take the second ending and see how it feels for the fingers. Ooh, that 5th in the chord feels good there. C's back to back there. Eh. I don't really like the 2 A minors back to back. It's the same thing because the relative minor of C major is A minor. So at that point, I would probably be jazzing that up with some 7s or some 9s. Let's see where the melody might take us. And then the chorus should be 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, what I've realized is this song's a little bit boring. We're going to spice it up with some 7th chords and whatnot. Tell you what, is anybody here watching this stream want to make a suggestion about where we could or should go? That would be totally groovy. One waiting. What does that mean? Is this not live? So, what I like to do is just move this over to the B section. The B section is the refrain, but, or not the refrain, but it is the bridge in this case. And then the C is going to be the chorus. So the chorus is right here, the verse is right here. Ta-da! There are no repeats. I mean, you could, but let's see where this takes us. Of course, the bridge is going to have a little bit of part that's moving. What we saw was it went to another key, but it is still inside the same key as far as being the 4. So we're going to write a 4 right here. That 4 code goes to the 5 chord, and then it goes to the 1. As I said, I didn't really enjoy having the 1 back to back. Meh, kind of boring that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look to see if we can alter it in any other way. And here we're going to put the 6, the minor 6. Now here, we might change that. Percentage sign when I'm writing charts just means to repeat the measure before. If you ever see double slash, that means to repeat all the phrasing, 2 measures before. So that takes us through the end of our little movement there. We'll come back to that to see if we dig it, to change it. And then C is our chorus. Again, double bar, because we're going to be starting a new passage. And then the C part has a 1 chord. The next chord we're going to is the 4 chord. We're going to fill out a minor 3rd here, which really is kind of cool because that's counterproductive to the major harmonic function. When we go to the next chord, it's going to be an A major. What? So it's different than our A minor here. So in the key of C, there is no A major. So when we have a 6 chord, it's a minor. So when we see a 6 like this, and it turns into a major, that's when we know we have gone outside the key of C major. We have modulated. What that means is we've gone outside the center of where it feels good. If I were to just do a mini, where's a mini circle here? Cool. Circle 5th, C, right here up top. G, D, A. When we move away from C and we go to A, which has 3 sharps, it means that the tones that weren't as awkward, like right here, these 3, part of this stable foundation, builds a sus. These 3, a minor tertiarily builds a sus, but it only makes sense in correlation to the 1 with resolution. Minor 2nd, major 2nd, minor 3rd, major 3rd don't really come into play because we're playing full triads here. If the melody is something like turns bluesy and we start using modes or bebop Dorian or just something which jazzes it up, then yeah, I could see playing something different. We're doing a lot of 7 chords, but for right here, the notes that we're choosing to play, they change the value right here. So what I just kind of want to do is I'm going to write this in a different color because it's cool and it's awesome and it's challenging. So when I'm playing something like this, still put my bar down here. This is our C. That's pretty cool. And then it changes the D section here, even though it's not marked. Wow, that's a short chorus. It's not equal parts, which means it's going to feel odd. Maybe we won't call this the D. Maybe we'll rearrange it, but this part is definitely different than the C. It's an outro. We're doing the 4 chord, and then we're going to do the 5 chord. Excuse me. 5 chord, but here we're going to have the 5 sus, and it resolves to the 5. After that, oh, that is incorrect. It continues that. So to keep with, I'm going to put the percentage, And then it resolves. So that is a 2-bar sus. That's uncommon. Don't know why I did that. And then lastly, we have 2 measures down here, so I probably shouldn't write as large. We've got our minor 6 again, so it makes a resurgence. Our 5 chord right here again. And then we're going to be playing our 4 chord. So what we've done is we've reversed what we've done in the whole song. In the whole song, it has gone from the 4 chord to the 5 chord every single time. That builds a little less tension because we're going to something which holds some tension as the subdominant, the 4th. But then when it moves to the 5th, it really gives it that pull towards the 1 or the 5. The next thing we're going to do right here is drop down our E minor, which means we are moving down, going backwards through the number line, as Trey would say. And then we're going down to a minor 2nd, which means we are really going down the number line, aren't we? This would be considered not an XL because it's not in half step, but it is going down like a little Andalusian cadence. Our next one is going to go to a 5 sus. Again, we've got the 5 sus back to back. So I don't know, maybe that is the special thing of this song. And then this last thing, oh no, I was wrong. Goes from the 7 there. Let me write the smaller. Goes from the 5 sus to the 5 dominant. So G sus, which feels like this, then to a G major, but it has the passing tone. That's 7. And then this G sus actually feels like a B diminished. So when you play the G7, it feels like a B diminished. So going back to the 1 chord feels like the resolution we need, and that is exactly what we get. Here I'm going to make these bars at the end super dark. I don't know if my pen's going to do it, so I'll just go crazy with it there. Yeah, that is the song. So at this point, what I would do is write some melody lines and try and feel out what we're going to be going through in the song, and then say, what's the major points of here? Where's the emotion? How do the chords feel? I think that the A over here, which was the only thing in the song which was different, is the point that I want to focus on. I'm seeing that all these have the 4 to the 5, whether it's the 4 to the 5 sus or 4 to the 5, it's still going from a subdominant to a dominant, and then it resolves going back to a 1 at some point. Really, the only thing I don't like about this is how the A form is huge. The bridge, half as big as this, and then the C part, the chorus, it's half as big as that. It's not actually normal. Usually it's the other way around. The A part will be something you'll put a B part or a C part, even if you get there, you'll modulate or move it to a different key. A lot of time composers will take something that's in a major and then put it into the relative minor or the family chords of major and minor. Sometimes we'll just use the actual name. So if this one's in C, it'll go to C minor here. Through the melody, try to get its way back to feeling like it's going to go into the A part and then wrap up the whole song with the C part that does like a melody conversions, like themes, and then it goes into the idea of like just going back to the 1 and then ending the song. This one ends kind of abruptly. I'm going to take another little listen to it, see if I can come up with something for a different type of melody. Let me see. If we're going to do this, Pro, yeah, let's open it. I would like to put them into a book for ukulele. So what we're seeing here is not any of these chords are really that hard to follow. Most of the books that I teach from generally don't play a lot of sus chords, you know? So when you're playing ukulele and you learn how to play an F, it's weird to play the B flat. It doesn't sound great on an ukulele, but it sounds wonderful on a guitar for an F sus. So there are a couple chords that you want to play in a different place. So having this note, F here, well, when we go up to the 2, if I do this and play the note up top, I found myself playing just another version or a form of another chord. F major, F major, F major. So learning how to play the different chords like a sus chord or a minor chord, that comes with time. That's why I do all these things and I learn how to play instruments from my own chart writing. So here's what it would sound like on the ukulele starting off on the intro. We've got this one chord as a sus. Second part there, it does go through. I like that. Back up to the 1. Loving that A there. Maybe the rhythm or tempo is too fast. I love where it goes to the A there. I think if I was going to go through it again and maybe come up with a possible melody around the central theme of the name, sitting one out. Another thing is this. Like when I was growing up playing sports, I never really got picked to play on any sports. I was a little awkward and fat, weird. Long story short, I enjoyed sports, but just not enough to like want to play them for the rest of my life. I enjoy music. Some people enjoy both. This is just my bag. Mental gymnastics in the brain doing this rather than running. Although I probably could stand to lose a few pounds. Anywho, sitting one out's okay. Sometimes when you're on a part of a team, it's really cool just to be the person that's there for support. A lot of my childhood was spent sitting in a car watching other people play sports. But the long and short of it is the experience that I took from it was camaraderie, team skills, communication building skills. That also helped being able to communicate music as well, critical thinking skills, stuff like that. So when I'm playing a melody, what I like to do is kind of hum out loud. So in the beginning, like. Now the rhythm I'm doing is standard. Maybe if we changed it. So writing it out, that would mean that this would take up the whole measure, just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 everything turns into that for me. Cool. Just by playing playing it, it makes me feel like this. The feeling of these should be whole and open, making the A feel extremely long. And then we're going to go into the B and do all downstrokes, which changes the pattern, but not the rhythm. We're just giving it a little bit more percussive aspect to it. When we get here, let's see what happens. Whoop, 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 to here, G, second to E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. I don't know if that's going to stay. Whole note strumming pattern, quarter note strumming pattern, and then right here, 16th notes, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Yeah, it's got like a 16th note pattern, but we're doing them in triplets. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you're counting the 16ths, it would be 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and. Emphasis on it, but if you're counting them truly, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and, you would just put all the accents on that. So E minor, A major. Something cool there, or just straight through. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You know, and sometimes these rhythm patterns, it doesn't fit in until you write the other part. So how the bass is going to fit in, if you're going to have a bass, and then the strings, and then the brass, and it's just depending on what you hear. In my mind, I always hear like all parts, and I have to mute them. So when I start here, I hear that fanfare. Get rid of that, and then I think genre or artist or some sort of other idea. So if I wanted to emulate a different artist, what would that sound like? If I was like, well, there's been me, I would be doing a Dylan, which I cannot stand. However, wonderful songwriter. Going through here, I like the rhythms here, but if I was doing it like, I don't know, no, that'd be too weird, King Crimson. How about like James Taylor? Go through the patterns of hearing, like in my brain. What do you think James Taylor did? If I could hear it vocally, I would do that. A lot of it, what comes down to is particular artists have particular things that they do often that define them in their character. Not meaning that every artist is pigeonholed by a concept or an idea, but when you listen to Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin's Led Zeppelin. Unless they're Greta Van Fleet. If you've never heard of Greta Van Fleet, go check them out. As far as like music, it really comes down to what you listen to and what you want to do. Me, myself, and I listen to a lot of stuff like Frank Zappa, Captain Beefheart, King Crimson, Paul Simon, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Freed Hawk, Sean Lane. I don't know, any of these ring a bell? Anywho, randomly. Those kind of concepts, along with what I do for a living, and I teach students how to play different artists, gives me the keen ability to be able to listen to a song and be able to dissect it in moments tell you what instruments there are, what the rhythms are, what key it's in, blah, 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 blah. To me, it actually is really cool because all of the vocabulary that I've learned in my whole life, I'm able to do that in real time now, which that has been my life goal. And just because I'm able to do that right now, it's just a very, very small amount of what all the totality of musical theory is. So I'm super stoked to see what the future brings as far as all these go. I've got 3,000 plus songs. So I'm going to do this Monday thing, writing charts out as long as I can. My goal and the hopes are that somebody that watches this that loves music as much as I do is inspired. Not every channel has to have edited videos and it tells you exactly what to do. What I'd like to do is encourage you to critically think about your own music, take some of the nonsense that I've written, and then say, why? Why is that A major important there? It doesn't have to be there. What can I change it with? Musically, if I were to be like, hey, F sharp minor is the relative minor of A, could that F sharp minor go there inside this phrasing? And then what would we go back on and then go through the humming like, and make a melody? What I'm doing right now is I'm getting very, very fluent with knowing what the rules are of part writing, tone leading, and then how to hear a chord and then know where I want to go and how to get there with a melody without breaking any of just the standard rules. Now, the music I listen to pretty much breaks all those rules. So one of the major rules is when you're moving, you move in step. So tertiarily, these are thirds. Well, if I were to go from a 1, the C to the D, imagine we had our notes here, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. If I were to go to the C to the D, that's great, but like D's kind of like an accent note. It's in between what my stable notes are, my C, E, G. So over the top of C, E, G, that's fine here. If I was going to be playing a movement, getting to my D minor, frankly, I would want to have some sort of movement in here which doesn't involve a bunch of hooey. So I would have something like, but I want to avoid my fist because that's too much. That 4 makes it feel like a sus. So I don't want that. I can move up by half step, which is fine. But if I move up by just 1, 3, 5, it might sound a little boring. So the kind of concept is, what shell chord or what vision do I have for the song? If it had different rhythms, it might be a little different as far as how I space out my harmonies. I really enjoy teaching 3 days a week here at Big Island Guitars in Hilo. If you are here on vacation, stop by, say hello to the store and everyone that works there, and then say hi, howdy do to me over here. My name is Wago. If you have any questions about what we did here today, please put it in the comment section. I will get to it. Please keep it clean and classy. I've got a lot of my students that check these videos out as a secondary form of education. And if you want to, put something cool in the comment section about what you've been doing and listening to, and then I will research that and try to get on the same page. Anyway, thank you very much for being here today. Aloha.